It's always frustrating when a person mysteriously disappears and no one ever finds out what happened to them. It's even more frustrating when the investigation of these disappearances winds up uncovering clues that only raise more questions than they answer. Here are 3 unsolved disappearances, which are more unusual than your typical missing persons case and feature some of very baffling twists and turns.
Tara Calico. On September 28, 1988, a 19-year-old girl named Tara Calico left her home in Belen, New Mexico, to go bike riding on Highway 47. Neither Tara nor her bicycle was seen again. Her case was cold until June 15, 1989, when a woman found a Polaroid in a parking spot outside a convenience store in Florida. A white van had previously been parked in the spot, and the photo featured a teenage girl and a young boy who were both bound and gagged in the back of a van. It was speculated that the girl in the photo might be Tara and the boy was Michael Henley, a 9-year-old boy who vanished on a New Mexico camp previous year. However, Michael's remains were soon found in the same area he originally went missing. 2 other photographs featuring a gagged girl resembling Tara surfaced over the next few months, though they have never been released to the public. Years later, a Valencia country chef publicly stated his belief that Tara was killed the day she disappeared when 2 local residents accidentally hit her with a truck. But he had insufficient evidence to make an arrest. But if this theory is true, then what's the story behind the 2 kids in the photograph? What's your thought?
Teresa Butler. On the morning of January 25, 2006, the husband of 35-year-old Teresa Butler returned to his home in Risco after working the night shift and discovered that his wife was missing, and their 2 young sons were home alone. Her jeep was still at the house, and there were no signs of struggle or forced entry, but her kids could not shed any light on what happened to her. Teresa's purse and cellular phone were missing, as were a lot of other valuable items from the house, such as PlayStation, video camera, and car stereo. However, her wedding rings and jacket were left behind. Things got even more bizarre when authorities discovered that 2 calls had been made from Teresa's cell phone shortly after her disappearance. The person at first number never answered the phone, while the second did claim, and they said there was no one in the line. Neither of these people had ever heard of Teresa Butler and don't have any information about her disappearance. 7 years later, there are no still answers in this baffling case, and no trace of Teresa has been ever found. What's your thoughts? Asha Degree. On the morning of February 14, 2000, the parents of 9-year-old Asha Degree went to wake her up and discovered she was not in her bed. Even though Asha shared a room with her brother, he had no idea what happened to her. Witnesses later reported seeing a girl matching Asha's description walking down the highway around 4 a.m. So it seems she may have sneaked out on her own. Asha was currently studying a fantasy book in her school about children who can go on adventures after running away, which could have inspired her actions. Things got even more bizarre once Asha's belongings started turning up. 3 days after she disappeared, Asha's pencil, marker, and a hair bow were found in the doorway of a stool, approximately 1 mile from her home. A year and a half later, Asha's book bag was found 26 miles away. It contained more of her belongings and had been double wrapped in plastic trash can. Things has led authorities to suspect foul play, but there are no still answers why Asha would leave her home in the middle of night. Who might she have crossed paths with, or what ultimately happened to her? What's your thoughts? If you have enjoyed this video, subscribe for more.